What's up, everybody? It's your favorite show, Get a Bucket. I'm your host, Trey, and as usual, I hope you're all having a wonderful, wonderful day. All right, man, I just got to get right to it, right? Because this one's going to be a little tough episode to get through. We're going to talk about here the men's Elite Eight and then the Final Four expectations. So with that being said, I just got to say here, there were no real entertaining games outside of one for the Elite Eight. And that was the one that hurt the most. Michigan, number 1 seed, ends up beating Tennessee, dog walking them by 33. Come on, little fella. Like, it was belt to tail. We had Illinois, the number 3 seed, beating Iowa, the number 9 seed, by 12. That's okay, but it won't that entertaining. Arizona, the 1 seed, ends up beating Purdue by 15 points. Again, it was okay, but it won't that entertaining. The most entertaining game of the Elite Eight was my number 1 seed, overall number 1 seed, Blue Devils, losing to number 2 UConn. Now, if you listen to my episode about fired Coach Scheyer, you kind of get an insight as to how I view how this game went. Did UConn come back? Yes. But to be clear, Duke, gave this game away. And it's so heartbreaking. We're up 15. We went up as much as 19 in the first half. Again, leads dissipate. I've said that before. We were up 15 at the half. Am I overly surprised that UConn came back? Kind of. But again, leads dissipate over time. So I'm not going to be overly upset at that. It's the fact that we had 10 seconds left. We're up 2, and we have the ball. And Caden Boozer ends up turning the ball over. Personally, I felt like as a coach, you tell them with 10 seconds left, just hold the ball and get fouled. We have 3 quality free throw shooters. We had Isaiah Evans who could do something with the basketball at the free throw line, shooting the ball specifically. Cameron Boozer was about a 79% free throw shooter. Like I wouldn't be mad if he rose up his free throw shooting, but still, that's quality. We could at least get 1 free throw out of him. And if I'm not mistaken, Caden Boozer was about an 80+% free throw shooter himself. So if I'm John Scheyer, I'm telling them, I don't care what happens. You hold the ball and get fouled. Like don't pass the ball. Don't pass the ball. Or if you do, one time. And if we can get 1 clean pass off, pass it to somebody who can knock down a free throw shot fairly well. And just wait to get fouled. And that did not happen. So I'm looking at John Scheyer directly. Yes, Caden Boozer gets blamed too for sure. But I am looking at John Scheyer and saying, well, buddy, how come we couldn't get over the hump? We should still be in the Final Four. Like, I can't even give it to UConn because we literally gave the game away. Good shot by Braylon Mullins. Good shot. Way to be there. Way to knock it down. And UConn, way to storm back. Being down as much as 19, by being down 15, entering the second half. But again, ladies and gentlemen, Duke literally gave this game away. We gave that game away. Like I said, that was the most entertaining Elite Eight matchup. It's a legacy game for a couple players. And it was a terrible Sunday and Monday for me. I tell you that right now. And I had a beautiful weekend, by the way. Oh, a tremendous weekend that just got soured and spoiled by both Blue Devils losing in the Elite Eight. After I thought there was a world where we could possibly win championships as a brother and sister organization. It hurts. It hurts so badly. But kudos to Dan Hurley and UConn for getting the job done end of day. So now we got to talk about Final Four, ladies and gentlemen. And we got here UConn, a number 2 seed, going up against Illinois, a 3 seed. And then we have Arizona, a 1 seed, going up against Michigan, a 1 seed. And I think right now, entering the Elite Eight, Michigan might have been the favorite team. Michigan and Arizona were probably 2 of the favorite teams for sure. I keep hearing about Michigan and Arizona, and rightfully so, too. They've been hooping pretty well this year. I will give them that. We can't overlook, though, this UConn-Illinois matchup because, personally, we got Keaton Wagler versus Solo Ball and Silas DeMary Jr. Now, keep in mind, Keaton Wagler is a 6'5", 6" freshman that has been hooping his butt off. I got to give him credit. Consistently, too, by the way. Now, I just saw Solo Ball and Silas DeMary Jr. They were okay. They were solid. But you know what I did see, though? Caden Boozer, before that blunder, which I do put right up there with the Chris Webber timeout that they did not have. Caden was hooping. He was hooping. So if Keaton Wagler, who is the better player right now than Caden Boozer, if they can't stop him, Illinois is going to give UConn a run for their money for sure. And here's the thing, too. Our bigs, we had Patrick Gomba, who was coming off foot injury, but still he was healthy enough to play. And then Malik Brown. Patrick is 6'11", 250. Malik was about 6'8", maybe 235. All right? They had a hard time going up against Terrace Reed, who is a senior at 6'11", 265. That ain't bad. But ladies and gentlemen, I got to say this. Illinois does have a guy by the name of David Merkovich, who's 6'9", 255. That's about the same level as Cam Boozer in terms of height and stockiness, which, again, I would have loved to see that matchup. But I think David can guard Terrace a little bit. But also, Illinois does have some bigs to throw at Terrace a little bit. So I am curious to see if Terrace can do the exact same thing that he did against my Blue Devils. If so, then Illinois is going to have an uphill battle this game. So again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm curious which star is going to outplay the others' defenses, if you will. Will Keaton Wagler get off more so than Terrace Reed Jr. gets off versus his opponents? And then we got to also think, too, ladies and gentlemen, this win versus my Blue Devils. Again, did UConn earn it? Sure. But did we give it up? I think we gave it up more than UConn earned it, to be fair. And I'm not trying to take away from UConn. I'm actually trying to be a little curious right now. Will that emotional win hit UConn in the Final Four? Will it be too taxing, or will that energize UConn? That's what I'm looking to see. But again, ladies and gentlemen, who would I favor in this matchup? It's almost a jump ball for me. It really is. Now, biasly, I want Illinois to beat UConn. But at the same breath, I would love if UConn beats Illinois, because then that says, hey, Duke should have beaten Illinois. Like, we could have beaten Illinois, which I genuinely believe we could have. So it's a jump ball for me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm too emotional right now. I don't know how to go about it. But it should be a good game nonetheless. Now, Arizona versus Michigan. I'm going to call a spade, all right? I think Michigan finna win this game. And the reason why is Yaxel has been looking like the best player on the floor in March Madness. He has. I can't even deny that. Michigan's rebounding and rim protection continue to dominate. And my question is, can Arizona's offense eclipse Michigan's defense? Because Michigan's defense is really elite. And their offense ain't no slouch either. Now, Arizona's defense versus Michigan's balance. That's what I'm looking to see. Because Arizona's defense is not bad. And their offense is pretty good too. But I'm telling you right now here, ladies and gentlemen, Michigan is looking like they are quite some monsters. And what I really want to see is Michigan versus, as I'm thinking about it, again, I'm at a jump ball between UConn and Illinois, so I favor Michigan in this matchup. Would Michigan do well versus UConn? I think so. Because they have an interior advantage over UConn. And I'd be curious how Terrace Reed does. And keep in mind, too, I just saw UConn struggle versus my Blue Devils, and Michigan might be able to execute a little bit more than my Blue Devils did. We were still young, so we were prone to make mistakes, even though we had more talent. But we were prone to make mistakes. So Michigan, I think, would actually match up well against UConn. Michigan versus Illinois. is where it could get a little interesting. Because I think Illinois actually has the bigs to go up against Michigan. And again, Keaton Wagler, the man is pretty spectacular. And if his game continues to hold up, I'm telling you right now, he's trying to fight for a top 5 pick right now. So Michigan versus Illinois, if Keaton holds out, I'd like to see Keaton versus Yaxel. That would be a quality matchup. So I might have just talked myself into picking Illinois over UConn. Because Illinois matches up well against UConn, too. And again, they have the offense to go about it. It's just if Keaton gets slowed down due to Solo and Silas, that could be interesting. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I am curious who you guys are rooting for, who you guys are predicting to get out of the Final Four and into the championship game. Will it be UConn? Will it be Illinois? Will it be Arizona? Will it be Michigan? And I'm also curious, too, over the Elite Eight, were you surprised at how Duke gave that game away? Do you believe Duke gave the game away, or did UConn fight for that game back? Which one is higher, Duke giving the game away or UConn taking the game? I'm curious what your thoughts are. As a Duke fan and an analyst and a lover of basketball, I think Duke gave the game away, but I'm curious what you all think. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that does conclude the end of the episode. So this Final Four, while it might not be the best that it could have been, it should still be entertaining. I'm hesitant to watch it just because, my boys is out. I'm still emotional right now about the situation. I barely really don't want to talk about it, honestly. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that does conclude the end of the episode. So please make sure to like, subscribe, comment, tell anyone who's anyone about the show. My name is Trey. I'm the host of Get a Bucket. I hope you're all having a good one. Take care.